What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be replacing those old foggy stock headlights on my 2006 Ford F150. These headlights will fit any F-150 model from 2004 to 2008, the 11th generation Ford F-150s, for those of you guys who are curious about that. It was a very, very cheap process, a very, very straightforward process. I'm going to show you guys what I bought. I'm going to talk to you guys about why I bought it. I'm going to show you guys the entire installation process, and then I'll give my total feedback at the end. I'll show you guys some before and after pictures. It's going to be great. It's a very straightforward, simple process. Just switch out your old headlights to these new ones that I bought. That was actually a big reason why I purchased these in the first place, but I'm rambling. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so the process of removing the headlight is super simple. All you will need is a 10mm socket and some sort of, ratchet and a Phillips head screwdriver. The first thing you will do is you will come around to, obviously, like the front end of your vehicle. You'll see that there's a little screw, little pin here, right here. This is where your screwdriver is going to come in handy. You are going to take this out and you're going to kind of fold this thing back and maybe tuck it in here so it's out of your way. So step one is to remove this with the Phillips screwdriver. Alright, and as you can see, after removing that and kind of tucking this thing off to the side, you're exposing the 10mm bolts, 1 and 2 right there, that you're going to need to remove. And then you've got your third one up here that you'll need to remove. 10mm socket. There's one. Actually, for these two right down in here, it's a lot better if you have an extension. Using this little shorty right here might not be the best move. I think, yeah, I can still make it work, but it'd be a lot easier if you had an extension, just because of the situation with how much room you have, or how much room you'll need rather, to get these two removed. Alright, so once you've got your three 10mm bolts out of here, what you're going to do is there's a little tab right here, and you're just going to pull up on that to kind of get it out of the groove that it's in. You're going to get like one hand right around here, obviously one hand right around here, and just give it a nice easy pull. Don't go cranking it and break anything, but just left hand side, right hand side, give it a good pull. I'll try and get a shot of me actually removing it. It's a little hard since I'm filming myself right now, but I'll do my best. Remember to pull this little tab up before you start pulling out. Alright, and literally guys, I mean, it might be different for you guys at home, but I did not have to yank on it too hard at all. Basically what you're trying to do is there's a little tab right here. I'll get a close-up of it, but there's a little tab that you're really just pulling out. After you remove the bolts, that's really the only thing holding the actual headlight casing into the actual truck. I'll show you guys what I mean with this little tab. It's basically this little guy right in here that you're pulling out of this thing right here. After you remove those bolts, this little tab is basically the only guy holding you to the actual body of the truck. Okie dokie, so now that we have got the actual, headlight casing outside the truck, the headlights that we're replacing them with are just the housing. We're not going to be doing anything where we're going to be needing to splice any wires or do any sort of extra wiring at all. So all you're going to do is you're going to remove your old lights. You're just going to remove the old lights from the old housing. So the actual removing of these lights from the housing is very, very simple. They're all just going to be simple turns, or twists rather. So Got this little guy right here, just turn them to the left. There's that. Simple little turn to the left. There's that guy. That's your turn light or whatever. And one more. Hands are too big. There we go. I turned it too far? There it is. They all just twist right out like that. Alright guys, so this is the brand new one that I'm going to be installing. So as you can see, like when it was on the truck, it didn't look that bad. But once you compare the, you know, the cloudiness and the fogginess of the old light compared to the new one, you really can tell just how old and really, you know, contaminated the old housing was. So these guys, this is a black housing. These came off of eBay, extremely cheap, guys. I think they were only like $65 or something. So not only are you gonna, you know, have better visibility because you're not gonna have this old foggy crap anymore, but it's gonna add a much cooler, sleeker, more aggressive look to your truck, in my opinion, with the all black housing. I can't wait to see what it looks like when you've got both of them on here. But right now I'll show you guys how to put your old lights back into the new housing, and then I'll show you guys how to reinstall. Right now in the process, if you guys were going to be, say, switching out some of your old bulbs for, like, you know, nicer LED ones or something like that, or you know, just like a higher quality bulb, now would be the time to do that. I do plan on doing that in the future, but right now we're just going to be switching out the housing, staying with the same bulbs, and then maybe in a later time in another video I'll show you guys how to actually upgrade the bulbs when I'm doing so myself. But right now we're going to put the new housing with the black one on from where we took the old one off. Let's go. Alright, so we've got the new housing right here. So as you guys saw earlier, your actual headlight is going to go in this big center right here, and you guys can see how it plugs in because they've got little nubs, little grooves right here, and those will fit in perfectly with the new housing. I'll just bring it a little bit closer. As you can see, it's got these little ridges. There's 3 of them, and those will match up perfectly to the 3 ridges on your headlight. So these will just slide right in like that. Twist it to the right to lock them in place, and then you're going to take your outside light. Oh, this guy's got a little plug right here, so we gotta pull. There we go. It had a little paper covering or whatever on it. Ugh. Alright, so that one's in there. This guy's got, you know, a little paper covering over this other one too, so we got to remove that. Yeah. Don't litter. Put it in your pocket, throw it in the trash can, do something. Just never throw it on the ground. And lastly, your actual turn signal bulb will get plugged in right here. Same thing as what we talked about earlier with, you know, the little grooves. If I could just find where my grooves are. Okay, that one is there. Alright, and once you figure that part out, just slide it to the right, twist it on, and that's how you put the old bulbs back into the new housing. Alright, and as you can see, bulbs in the housing, bulbs in the housing, bulb is in the housing. So now we're going to slide this guy back on. You want to make sure that little clip that you pulled up earlier, that is going to drop right back into the same place that you pulled it out of earlier. And then you've got 10mm bolt, 10mm bolt, and 10mm bolt. So let's go ahead and plug it all back on now. I'm going to be doing the top one first. I won't be tightening it down the entire way. I'm just going to get it started, and then I'm going to line up where to put in the other bolts, and then I'll tighten them all down once all 3 of them have been started. I forgot to mention, that little tab that we were pulling on earlier, that really kept the housing attached to your truck once you had pulled the 10mm bolts out. This guy right here, this is gonna have to go back into that, see if it'll focus. This has got to go back into that gap that we have back in there. So probably the most difficult part will be actually squeezing this guy to where he'll fit back in there, but everything else should slide right in. All right, just a little bit of wiggling back and forth like that and the pin will slide right into where it's supposed to. Okay, so now that the pin has slid in where it's supposed to, you're gonna make sure that this little tab is back in the little hole right there. Then you've got, like I said earlier, 10mm bolt. You'll pull this thing back over, screw back in the Phillips tip screwdriver, and everything will be done. But let's put the bolts back on. Like I said, I'm not going to tighten it down all the way. I'm going to get all three started first, and then once they're all in and I know everything is plugged in where it's supposed to be, then I'll really tighten down all three of them. I was thinking, and actually probably better than an extension would be if you actually have like a screwdriver handle type setup for your socket. So I've got an adapter on it right here. This is my 10mm socket. So you'll just plug right in like that. So that's what I'm going to be using to reattach these guys. It's definitely what I'm going to be using to take off the other one. Once you've got everything screwed back in, you're going to take this little flap right here. This guy plugs into this hole. So you want to make sure it's tucked back underneath. Tucked back underneath here. Just feed that right into the hole that it goes into. Like that, and then you've got your Phillips head screwdriver and screw, and that just screws right back in there. Gosh dang, man, with this one on, this thing looks amazing, guys. I tell you what, it's a perfect fit. It's really good quality. I love the look of it. Do a comparison real quick to how the other side looks. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be some of the best $60 that I have ever spent. Man, these things look awesome. All right, let's go install the other one. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, when you're taking off these little Phillips head screws, you really can't be putting any downward pressure on them or else they're just not going to come up. You basically need to just barely fit the grooves of the Phillips head screwdriver into the screw and almost be pulling away from it as you're unscrewing it, because that's the only way these guys are going to come up. Using this sort of setup to take out these sockets are way more efficient, way easier. It's like when you get that new iPhone or that new anything that has a nice computer screen or something like that. You gotta take the plastic off. Ooh. Oh, it's a great feeling. So clean, so nice. I honestly still can't believe that these things were as inexpensive as they were. So dang easy to put everything back in. It's just insane. All right, so remember, you're gonna have to play around a little bit to get this clip back in that little area. But other than that, it's just plugging everything back in and tighten it all down. Almost done. Should we go? Oh. I'm not gonna show you guys the finished product yet. We still got 3 10mm bolts to tighten down, a Phillips head little screw, and then you guys will see the finished product. Yeah. All right, guys, that is completely it. That is everything, guys. I am so stinking happy with the way this truck looks, man. Like I said earlier, like it's only like 60 bucks, and this was like, I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, it changes the entire look of the truck, but I mean, it kind of does. I mean, you guys remember, you know, what it looked like before. This black housing just is so awesome. It looks great. There's no more fogginess. Everything fit perfectly. You can see it's not like sticking out. It looks OEM just with black housing. I'm in love with this, man. So easy. Honestly, if I wasn't filming, this entire process probably would have taken me like max, I'm talking max 20 minutes. Close this door. I am super excited, guys. I'll talk a little bit more about why I bought these specifically when I get back to the house. I'll give you guys another look though. I mean, it looks pretty dang good, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people have given me flack for buying some of my, almost all of my like truck parts and everything off of like Amazon and eBay. But to be honest, like, just because something is more expensive, just because something is like name brand or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. A lot of things, especially headlights, are kind of all made by like the same few companies, and then other companies just sell them under like different names and stuff. So I'm not going to get into that whole conspiracy theory or whatever, whatnot, but I think they look awesome. We're going to head back to the house now. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about why I purchased these ones specifically, but man, I love the way it looks. Everything works. The blinkers work, the brights work. It looks awesome, guys. I'm so excited. All right, guys, so we're back at the house now. Got a little bit of food in me because I was fading a little bit there at the end. But I want to talk to you guys real quick about why I decided to purchase the specific headlights that I did. For starters, the biggest thing for me is always going to be price point. So the fact that these were only like $64, I want to say, I'm trying to pull up where I got them off of eBay, but I want to say it was $64, free shipping. Yeah, like $64.98 or something, free shipping. So obviously those were like, that was a big selling point for me. Another reason why is because with these, as I mentioned earlier, there was no wiring required whatsoever. I personally have zero experience with splicing, wiring, anything to do with that. So the fact that these were a true plug and play type of replacement was just like a huge big deal for me. Another reason I like these is online Amazon and eBay auto parts can be super hit or miss, can be super tricky. So what you want to do, what I always do when I'm searching for one of these parts, is find a product that actually has multiple reviews. If you can get one that also has like user submitted pictures from people who have also purchased this item, that is, you know, just best case scenario. I always personally always try to leave reviews on any parts that I buy and upload pictures of what the product looks like on my truck. That way I can give, you know, people who are searching a more accurate depiction of like whether or not the product is good or not, because you know, I've had bad products. I've had products that I've gotten, I've had it for like 2 days, 3 days, and I'm like, this product is junk, and I sent it right back. I don't absolutely rip the seller, but at the same time, I do have to be honest and hopefully save somebody else from, you know, going through the same process that I did of buying a bad part. So price point, great. The fact that it was a true plug and play and there was no wiring required whatsoever, and it worked with all the factory bulbs, awesome. This product specifically did have a lot of reviews on it. There were actually like, I think there were 3 user submitted pictures as well. Not just like the stock ones that were part of the advertisement, but actually people who had bought it, installed it on their truck, taken a picture, uploaded it with their review on eBay. So that was why I chose these 3. They basically checked off everything on my list that I need to have satisfied before I actually buy the product. I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. If you guys are brand new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. That stuff goes a really, excuse me, that stuff goes a super long way of helping support my channel. You guys don't even know. There's a lot of awesome stuff coming as far as the F-150 goes. Now that I've actually seen how awesome that the headlights look, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger, and I'm gonna replace the taillights as well. There's a set that comes with the headlights that I bought, so I'm just going to buy the taillights that go with that. So that'll be probably the next video that you guys see of me actually installing the brand new taillights. But like I said, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching, everyone who's been reaching out to me on Instagram and whatnot and saying, hey, like, I love your channel, like all this good stuff. Like, that means the world to me, guys. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Like I said, if you're brand new, go ahead and subscribe right now, and we will see you guys on the next video. Yeah.